Workers are performing maintenance job on an unguarded machine. Suddenly, another worker who's unaware of the maintenance job activates the main energy source. The worker sustains severe hand injury as his hand was caught between the rotating wheels of the equipment. Unplanned and unsafe activities performed in hazardous environments can pose a multitude of safety and health hazard. To manage risk and control hazards in a work environment, Permit to Work (PTW) system should be implemented. Permit to Work system is a plan to safely execute work in order to prevent fire, explosion, or any incident which may cause injury to people and damage to the equipment, facilities, or environment. All plants of JSW are committed to the provision of a safe and healthy workplace for all employees. In this program, you will learn about Permit to Work standards, how to obtain, close, renew, and cancel a work permit. It also outlines the safety precautions that should be taken care of when performing these tasks. The Permit to Work system is a formal written process which is an essential part of the safety management to control certain types of non-routine work that are potentially hazardous in nature. Permit to Work system encourages orderly planning of safe work that incorporates safety checks and provides written authorization, and also as a means of communication among site personnel to ensure all necessary safety precautions are in place before commencing the work. The permit provides a way to identify and list the hazards associated with the task, precautions to be taken before doing work, and the signature of the authorizing person who issues the permit to work. Permit to Work applies to all the employees, including contractors who perform the non-routine job. The elements of Permit to Work. The Permit to Work system consists of critical elements such as a list of the activities and types of work that are to be controlled, a specification of the permits to be issued for various types of work, including precautions during the work and closure of permits, a process for deciding which hazardous work requires additional control measures, a process for ensuring the competence of permit signatories and other playing an active role in the Permit to Work system. The criteria listed on the form are to be reviewed and checked for hazards present before issuing the permit. The purpose of issuing the permit won't be achieved if these elements aren't covered in the permit. Types of work permits or certificates. The types of permits are Permit to Work, which includes a hot work permit or cold work permit. Certificates, which are attached to the permit. A hot work permit is required when the work involves any equipment or tools that could cause sparks such as welding, grinding, torch cutting, brazing, soldering, and jackhammering. Open flames from torches or any other apparatus that produces an open flame. Non-explosion proof, non-intrinsically safe electrical or electronic equipment. Compressors, generators, pumps, or other equipment that have an internal combustion engine for power. Any chemical reaction which produces heat. A cold work permit is a permit issued for jobs of general nature that do not involve any hot work activities. A certificate is issued for all high-risk activities such as confined space entry, work at height, LOTO, excavations, electrical work, road closure, scaffolding, heavy lifts using Farana or Hydra cranes. The certificate is issued in addition to a cold or hot work permit depending on the type of the work involved. With only certificates, one is not authorized to carry out the work. key personnel involved. In order for the permit to work to be effective, each designated personnel of JSW who are involved in performing the work must comply with their specific roles and responsibilities. The group of personnel involved in the permit to work system are: Permit Authorizer is a trained employee designated by the head of the department who has the authority to verify that the work conditions are safe and all precautions to maintain a safe work environment are taken. He is authorized to allow the work to occur or cancel the permit if required. Permit Applicant is a trained employee who applies for the work permit or certificate and ensures the safe completion of the work. He ensures permit holder is present at all times while the work is at progress. If permit applicant serves as a permit holder for any job, then he shall not serve as a permit holder for any other job. Permit holder is a supervisor in charge or a senior workman in the work site. He is accountable for commencing and completing the authorized task along with a group of people and holds a copy of the permit at the work site. Authorized isolator is identified and authorized as per the requirements in the LOTO standard. He shall be different for different disciplines like mechanical, electrical, instrumentation, etc. Steps to obtain a work permit. Let's see how permit to work is obtained before starting work. Here are some of the crucial steps that are followed for work that does not need a LOTO or other certificate. When the job needs a permit, the permit applicant initiates permit to work. The permit applicant informs permit authorizer about the need for the permit. After the discussion and signed clearance of permit by the permit authorizer, permit applicant begins preparatory work. It shall be limited to arranging tools and equipment, PPE, signage and barricades. Then permit applicant fills the sections related to hazards or risk considered, job or equipment preparation, tools and equipment required, PPE and fire protection, and the other required information. The permit applicant will also ensure that the persons involved in the process are communicated about the relevant standard operating practices, SOPs, and standard maintenance practices, SMPs, hazard and control measures as per the risk assessment, JSA. The permit authorizer recognizes and evaluates the hazards throughout the work. The authorizer identifies hazards including potential hazards, verifies that the work area is safe to commence and carry out work, evaluates changes to conditions as a result of work being performed within the area and ensures all operational preparations, including process clearance, is complete. The authorizer ensures that the permit details the scope of the work, the documented controls are adequate to carry out the work safely. All necessary supporting certificates and JSA are attached and referred to in the permit, and also communicates to those who may be affected by the work and is aware of the status at all times. If the work involves hot work, then the hot work box is checked. The following special precautions are taken for all hot work. Before issuing the hot work permit, the permit authorizer visually inspects job location up to the radius of 10 meters to ensure the area is free from all types of flammable materials. The permit authorizer uses an explosimeter detector to measure the gas concentration at work site, container, tank or the like that contains any flammable or toxic vapors or gases. The permit authorizer may authorize this gas testing activity to the competent gas tester. The hot work permit is not issued if the reading on the device is more than 0% of the lower explosion limit, LEL. If there is process sewer openings or drains within 10 meters of the hot work site, then the openings or drains must be covered by wet, fireproof blankets to prevent any spark from entering the opening or drain. The permit applicant may assign the job to a permit holder who is trained in permit to work system. The permit applicant, together with the permit holder, inspects the site to confirm that all preparatory work is complete and the permit conditions are maintained on the shop floor. The permit applicant ensures that the permit holder understands all the hazards and controls and also ensures that all workers who may be directly affected by the work are informed. The permit holder may not hold another permit and must remain at the job site at all times. The permit must be made in 3 copies. The first copy, in pink color, must be handed over to the permit applicant. The second copy, in white color, is for the display at the work site, and the third copy, in green color, must be retained by the permit authorizer. If the permit applicant appoints a permit holder for the hot work, then the applicant must hand over the first copy of the permit to the permit holder. The permit holder must then supervise the work until the work is complete and must not involve in any other work. The permit holder must wear the appropriate PPE and inform other workers to comply with the same. He then prepares to commence work with the other involved workers. The permit holder identifies and understands the potential hazards and how they are controlled. Workers perform the job safely in the location. The permit applicant and permit holder are responsible to maintain the status quo for control measures stated in the permit during the execution of the job. They shall be aware of the work status at all times. On completion of the work, all the 3 copies should be signed by the concerned persons. The permit authorizer and applicant shall not close the permit at the completion of the work until they have inspected the job site and all housekeeping has been done. Closure of work permit. On completion of the job, the permit authorizer and permit applicant ensure that machine guards are reinstalled. All workers and material are cleared from the job site and housekeeping work is carried out. The permit applicant obtains the signature of the permit holder and signs on the permit. He informs the work group and hands over the first and the second copy of the permit to the authorizer and asks him to close it. The authorizer conducts a field visit and verifies that the equipment or systems are restored and they are in ready to start condition. He also ensures that all housekeeping has been done. He then signs and closes the permit. Renewal of work permit. A work permit or certificate is only valid for 1 shift but can be extended for a maximum of 2 shifts with appropriate renewals. A new permit or certificate is to be obtained after 24 hours from the original issue of the permit or certificate. In case the job is continued beyond the validity of the permit, a permit or certificate renewal request is raised by the permit applicant. The permit authorizer renews the permit or certificate after inspecting the job location. The details of the extension are entered in the display and the authorizer copies of the permit. If the member of the working group are changed, the permit applicant or permit holder explains safety measures, risk assessment and its mitigation to new persons in the group. Cancellation of work permit. Work permit can be cancelled by the permit authorizer when the scope of the work changes, the permit conditions and safety requirements are violated, there's an emergency in the plant, an incident happened during the course of work activities. When cancelling a work permit, the certificates associated with it are automatically cancelled. The authorizer fills in the appropriate sections of the permit to cancel a work permit and informs the permit applicant about the cancellations. There are certain jobs that are exempted from obtaining a work permit. They are jobs normally done by operations using properly trained people that have an approved SOP with JSA. Work done in a workshop with properly trained people and an approved SOP or SMP. Remember, permit to work is not a permission to carry out a dangerous job. The issue of work permits does not make a job safe. The precautions and conditions mentioned in the permit allow the workers to be aware of the potential risks or hazards involved in a job. Safety can only be achieved when personnel involved in the work process comply with the work procedures, methods, use the right tools, and sound judgment.